Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Adobe Live. I'm your host, Fabiola Lara, and today's stream is all about how to make your workflow in Premiere Pro just that much faster and more efficient. Because I feel like we all are making videos, we need to crank them out fast. So today is all about how to set up your workflow to do just that. So if we pop on over to Premiere, all right, so I'm going to share with you this project that I have right now. And you might have seen it already on my Instagram if you follow me there, but I'm going to play it through so that you get a sense of what we're up to today.
I know you hate making
1 second. All right.
videos to share your art online, but these 5 tools will make it just a little bit easier. First, the Osmo Pocket 3. This thing is viral for a reason. You get smooth footage and great audio every time. Next, this iPad easel. It's perfect for filming tutorials and keeps everything at the perfect angle. This Samsung SSD. Trust me, you need reliable storage for all the content that you're creating. This floor lamp actually doubles as a great video light. And finally, this monitor arm. It instantly declutters your desk and just makes for a better backdrop for your videos. Everything is in my bio if you want to check it out. I know you hate making videos.
So that's the video that I made here, 30 seconds real quick. People ask me about gear, so that's why I made that video. And I have to admit to you that I actually don't have any presets in Premiere. Like I just never got around to doing it. I never saved anything. And after making this project, I was like, I need to create some presets. I need to like create templates. I need to just start automating some of this stuff because keyframing every single thing or adjusting every single one is just so inefficient. On top of that, we have so many new tools for kind of global property settings. So I want to make sure that we use that. Now, 1 second, I gotta pull up the chat over here so I can see you guys. 1 second. All right. Kind of, here we go. All right. So now that we're over here, okay. I want to share with you, like, this is how I set up all of my projects. I basically have a sequence folder. Let me see if I can zoom in here. Well, doesn't matter. Sequence folder, a footage folder. They're officially called bins in Premiere Pro, but you know, there's little folder icons, an adjustment layers folder, sound effects, graphics, audio, and I even do a photos folder because sometimes I like take a screenshot and I want to make sure that I have it to put in my video or to create a thumbnail or anything like that. But I have been actually creating these every single time. And I'll explain to you why it's been this inefficient. It's because I usually just work in one Premiere Pro project like all year for my own content, but it gets quite unruly. And when I'm doing client work, I definitely want to separate it. And I've just been like creating the bins as I go. But today we're going to change that. So what I'm going to do is close this project for now. And we're going to start a brand new Premiere project. If you haven't tried beta, if you go into Creative Cloud and go into beta apps, you'll find all the beta apps right here for you to access. Definitely recommend downloading them. It's always just like way more fun to try out new features. So go ahead and do that if you haven't already. But I'm gonna go ahead and hit open. For whatever reason, I can never find the icon in my app, so I just go that way. And I'm gonna create a new project. Now, I'm gonna have this live Documents, Premiere Pro Beta. I'm going to have it live there. No template. And this is going to be our new 2025 project template. Create. I'm going to hit skip import because I'm not going to import anything. Create. Now it's blank. So the first thing I want to do is make sure I'm using my preferred workspace setup. Mine would be the vertical. It's already set there, probably because I've always used it. And then I want to start actually organizing everything. And I want this to be the template that I basically click every single time I want to start a new project. So the way to set that up is start creating my bins. So every single time I open a new project, I want it to have these bins. For me, those are sequence. I like to number them because then they stay organized. Footage. Oops. Sometimes I do that. I have to be clicked out of it. Oh my goodness. Okay. 03. I usually do music. Actually, I do audio because I do a lot of voiceovers. And then I'll do one that's music. Then I'll do one that's sound effects. And what was the other one? Oh, photos. 06 photos. Okay, and sometimes I add one for adjustment layers. So you know what? Let's create it because I can always just like leave it off or not use it. All right, so that's what I want every single one of my projects to start off with. I also really like having, I don't know if you guys have already tried this. I'm gonna hit save real quick. But if you open a new project, test, and you use the social media template, which I do like, but I still want one that's like custom to my own workflow. If you open one of these, I'm gonna hit create. You get all of these sequences that already have these overlays that help you understand the limitations of your content. So, right, like if I was creating a reel video, an Instagram Reels video, click that. This is basically telling me exactly where I need to keep it at. And there's a layer underneath that you would put your actual clips in. So I want this in my template. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy that, the overlay. I have it copied. Now I'm going to go back to my project template. I don't have any sequences made, so I need to do that first. So I'm going to create a new, where is it? Sequence. File. Where's my sequence button? Guys, whenever I'm on live, I get more freaked out. Okay. Am I not seeing it? Is it because okay. Create new item sequence. There we go. Okay. So I want it to be, again, this is for social media. That's mostly what this template is going to be for. So I'm going to go over to social. There's already this social media 9:16 option. I do like this. It's 30 frames per second, which is what Instagram wants and what most of the platforms want. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this one. It's also 1080 by 1920, so that's good with me. So I'm going to hit OK. And now this is sequence 01. I'm going to rename it. The way that I like to structure the naming of my videos is like month, day, year, underscore, title, and then like V1. But because this one is also for IG, I'm going to start it with IG at the beginning. Cool. Right now, nothing about it is specific to Instagram, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just paste that overlay that I had saved from the Adobe template. And now I have this one set up. You can see it here that we have it ready to go. Now it's on black because we don't have any clips made, but since this is my template, I know that I'm going to add the clips when I go in to do it. So that's a great sequence. Now I'm going to duplicate it because all the social media ones are the same dimensions and specs. So I'm going to go to YouTube. This is my YouTube Shorts one. The overlay is different. So if we go back to the other project that started with the social media template that Adobe provides, there's this YouTube Shorts vertical. And the reason I'm not copying the entire sequence is because I don't really want this captioning stuff. I don't want all the other things. I just want this overlay layer. So I'm just copying it. And then I'm going back to my project timeline, to my YouTube sequence and dropping it in. So now basically I get the best of both worlds. I am able to have all of the templates, the overlays, and my own template setup. And a quick note here, if you have any questions about what I'm going over or any questions about how to speed up your workflow, drop them in the comments in whether you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe, or if you're watching on Behance, just drop your comments in the chat. So now I have IG, YouTube, and I want to do one more over for TikTok. So TT, great. And I actually think these have the word copy in them, so I'm gonna remove that. Perfect. Oh, wait, actually, this is the way I did it. I did it a more efficient way, guys. You could do it like this, or I actually had one sequence that had all of them in it so that I don't have to like re-edit or like duplicate sequences over and over. I can just quickly check. So if you want to do it that way, which is just another helpful way to do it, you would just plop them on top of each other. And it's another way to make sure that everything works, but you do have to remember to rename everything or you're gonna not know which one is which. So that's YouTube overlay. This one's IG overlay. And then we have the TikTok overlay, which I need to go get. TikTok vertical, copy, and bring it over to my main sequence. Okay, I'm gonna rename it just by right-clicking and then TikTok overlay. And I'm gonna make them all the same size because it looks nice. So now I'm going to close the template, the social media guide template that I opened from Adobe. I'm just going to go ahead and close that project. Close project. I'm not going to save because I didn't really do anything. Now I have in my own sequence, I broke it out by social media platform, or you can have kind of like this main sequence that has all the overlays in it, and you can go ahead and delete the other sequences because they're redundant now. So now you have this one sequence that allows you to check for all of them if you just turn it on and off. Whether you like that or not, I don't know. If you're like editing and it starts stacking way too high, you might want to break it out per sequence. But it's just a starting point. Then the other thing that music, I always get kind of new music depending on the edit or depending on epidemic sound. So I don't add anything there. But the cool thing is anything that you put into this template will be there so long as you don't like move the media. So real quick, I'm going to add into my footage folder. I actually like having another bin that's called my Sony. And then I have another bin 02 for DJI. And then I even like to put a bin for iPhone. Oops, inconsistent. I need to rename 03 iPhone. All right. So now I have even more pre-made organization, and this exact structure is what I mirror in Finder, like in my actual file setup. So you should do that too. It's an easier way. It's going to help you make sure that you start editing faster. So I don't have anything there. I don't have anything in my audio. Sound effects, I actually go into here. So I go to, where did it go? My libraries. And under libraries, I do have this video effects library that has all of these. So they're already in my library, so I don't necessarily have to load them into the project itself because I can do that at any moment with any of my projects. But let's go ahead and do it just so I can show you how you would do it. So you right click, add to project. It brings it in here. And because I had already clicked my bin, it went right into there. But let's try it again. Libraries, I want maybe this one, add to project. And now it's right in there. Again, I'll do maybe whoosh, that's a good one. Add to project, and it's right in there. So now every time I open this project, those will be in there, which is super helpful. I don't have to do the add to project. What else? Photos, adjustment layers. You could have an adjustment layer already in here, but I tend to create those as I go. So I'm not going to choose that. But let me show you how you actually now create this as a template. So if you go, now that I have this all set up how I want it, basically, if you had like an intro sequence or an outro sequence, you would want to put that in here. If you have like a signature theme song that you use, you'd want to drop that in here. I don't, but that's what you would do. So now from here, you go to, there's a button, file, open, save as template. So now you click that, and now this is a new project template. And I'm going to go ahead and call it, just to show you that this is a fresh one that we just created. I'm going to say 2025 project template demo. Save. So now it's saved. I'm going to go ahead and save this project too, even though it doesn't really matter. And I'm going to close the project. Now I'm back at my welcome screen, right? When you open up Premiere Pro Beta and you go into open or new project. And now when you go in here, you should have, look, it's right here, 2025 project template demo. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to name it. I also get to select where to put it. I'm going to put it on my desktop because I'm messy like that. No, it's just because this is going to be just a sample. And I would, again, like I usually do month, day, year, title, and then like the client or something. Or if it's for myself, again, I'm working in one big project. So then we hit create. And now everything is already in there. We have our sequences. Wait, where did they go? Did I open the wrong one? Let's close this project. What happened? All right, I'm going to show you this other one that I did that did stick. So vertical template, and then everything's in there. So this is how it should work. I don't know why that one didn't at the last second didn't do it, but there it is. And I also had like a color, an adjustment layer LUT that I put in there that I use in all my videos. I put it under my adjustment layers. Oh, I also added a screen recording folder. So if you're creating a lot of tutorials, it's in there. So this is the one that I made. And you can see here I have social overlays. So you can do everything. I have my footage. I didn't add sound effects here. You know, I can always just change my template by just going file, save as template. So that's the cool thing with templates. And I definitely think just by creating this, you're just going to be able to be more confident when you go to edit and just get started a little bit easier. So I'm going to close this now. Don't save because I didn't do anything. And now we're going to go into our some other things that we can do to speed up our workflow. Here we go. And this is what I'm saying. If you take a look at the title of this project, it's 2024 vertical video Q4. Because I started to create so many videos, I just separated out into like quarterly project files. So you'll see here I have more sequences. I deleted them for our case, but I usually have multiple sequences in there. So we're back to the sequence that I created and that I showed you. So let's go into Gear Rex. I got to move this stuff around. So this is the actual sequence that I showed you, but I want to create different effects so that everything is faster, right? So the first thing I'm going to show you is we're going to work with the transcription tool because this is the best way to just do the first quick edit before we go into like details. So I'm going to duplicate it just to have I always duplicate. I'm a duplication stan. Let's do transcription. And I'm going to just delete all of this stuff just so that we can start fresh. Opt-X. And now I want to bring in some of the audio. So you can see I have a ton of different takes that I did of the audio for this. Honestly, way too many. But I'm going to double click. And if I go into text, transcription, and I bring some in, so I'm going to bring the last one in. Usually the last one is the good one. Gonna come on over. Except this one has nothing in it, of course. Let's go over here. Here we go. So I'm going to bring it in. And now you can see that the transcript is already getting started. Let's see. I have it on mute.
But these 5 tools will make it just a little bit easier.
So this is just one little section that I re-recorded. Let's grab some more of it. Here's a longer one. So I'm just going to put them back to back on the first track. So now the quickest way to go ahead and cut all of this down Oftentimes I'm doing multiple takes in one because I'm just like trying to get through it when I'm doing a voiceover. But I go into text, transcription, and then I wait for it to auto transcribe. Let's see.
Videos to share
Let me go into here.
your art online, but these 5 tools will make it a little bit more bearable.
Let's see. Why is it transcript view, retranscribe clip, auto detect? Yes, transcribe. All right, so that's that clip. And then this is the next clip. I think it's because I'm not in the transcription for the entire sequence. So let's go into properties. Where did it go? There. It should be right here now. 1 second, transcript view options. It's because it should be here. I'm pressing
Your
play.
art online a little bit more bearable. I know you hate making videos to share your art online, but these 5 tools will make it just a little bit easier.
So I don't know why it didn't show me the transcript for both. That's kind of throwing me off right now. But let me just show you how you would do it either way. I feel like it's a setting in here. Auto scrolling, transcript view options, save, retranscribe clip, export. It's like not taking the one that I want. It's really throwing me off, you guys. Let's see. Should be in here, essential. Is it in properties? No. All right. So if you're gonna just go ahead and edit this entire wait, is it this? There we go. That's what it was off. Okay. I knew there was a button that I just wasn't hitting. So here is the entire transcript for the sequence. Before, if you're like me, you accidentally had that off and it was just a clip and then you wouldn't see it. So now you know in case you hit that as well. What we want to do is do a quick edit here, right? So I know that obviously these are all the same take. I could theoretically just add more of these takes because I have tons of them. Let me just bring them all in here. And so it should auto transcribe all of it, which is right here. And what I want to do extremely fast is I want to get rid of all the pauses. That's for sure what I need to get rid of. So I go into this filter, pauses, and I go into here, filler words. Wait, no, pauses. So it should detect all my pauses. And if I go into this, you can pick the pause length. So when we're talking about vertical videos, you usually want the pause length to be like, you want basically no pauses, unless you're creating like very slow content, but that's not usually what we're doing here. So I'm going to do it down to 10 seconds or 0.10 seconds. I'm going to say save. So now it's identified all the pauses in this entire sequence. And I'm going to go ahead and hit delete all. So now it automatically took out all of the pauses within my sequence that were larger than 0.10 seconds. The other thing that I can do now is I can quickly just see and edit from here, but I just really wanted to show you how to remove those pauses. And then you can also remove filler words. Because this is a voiceover, I don't have a ton of filler words because it's scripted. But if you were editing like a YouTube video and you happen to say like a million times, you could find it, or it would find it, and you could delete it the same way you would be able to just delete all. But instead, I'm going to undo that. I'm going to undo this. I could say I want to delete every time I said making content. Oops. So I say that a few times or just once, but I could go ahead. Let me pick one that I've said more. The. All right, I say the a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and hit delete all, and now I've deleted all the thes. So that's just another quick way to just speed through your timeline. I of course already have picked my favorite take of this, but let's go ahead and create one here. So here we go. Making videos for your artwork totally sucks, but these 5 tools will make it a little bit easier. So I'm going to go ahead and select and delete. And so this is how I usually edit A-roll, is just going through and seeing my transcript and deleting from there. Again, this happens to be, I had a million takes here, but it's up to you. You can also continue to delete other parts of the sequence. And then, so that's how I would do it. Let me zoom into here real quick. That's why I'm not seeing these things. I want to delete this. Why isn't my delete key working? I feel like there. I don't know why it did it like that instead of highlighting it. Usually you highlight and then you can delete it. Beta sometimes hates me. Okay, that's how you would do it. And from there, let's say this was all the perfect, if I duplicate this to just show you the right edit. So if I go into my project and go back up to project, oh, there it is. I'm gonna duplicate it. Let's say I have this sequence here that I like. I don't have any captions. So this is the sequence that I ended up picking. I can now create captions super, super easily. Uh, yeah, it would be extremely weird to listen to a video without those in it, but I didn't say so I wanted to show you how you could do that. Once you have your A-roll edited, which is, this is the one that I ended up editing, it's actually track 22 of all of those tracks, just goes to show you. It still has all those highlighted, but I would just go and press this button, create captions, and from here, you create your captions from the transcript. Again, because we're talking about vertical video, it can be like really short. So I'm going to do minimum duration 10, single, minimum length in characters. I like to say like 10, yeah. And duration in seconds, I'm going to do the least amount, single, create captions. So then it creates all my little captions for me. Again, I don't have any video because I deleted all the clips. I shouldn't have done that. But here it all is. And now I want to put the clips back. I feel like it looks weird without any clips. Let's do that. There we go. So now we have our captions, but they're like ugly and boring and not fun. So let's create a preset that we can apply to these captions that we can use for every single project moving forward. That way, it's just easier. It's just making our lives easier. So once you hit this and you go into properties, this new properties panel in the beta version of the program automatically gives you the properties that you need. So you don't have to go searching for essential graphics. Essential graphics doesn't even exist anymore, but if I hit LUT, it changes. If I hit the clip, it changes. So that's already like just being more efficient as it is. But let's go back and hit captions. Usually I like to work on the first caption. I don't know why. I don't think it makes a difference, but that's just me. From here, I'm going to say, I have all these styles that I've made before, but I'm going to show you how to make one from scratch so you can set one up. So first you want to set it up. So I'm going to do Helvetica, or let's do something else. What's Ariel doing? They're not busy. Okay, great. And I'm going to just set it in the middle. That's kind of how I like my captions, a little bit to the middle. You can also move it just a touch. I always move the wrong axis. Here we go. And then I'm going to change the font size. When they're so little, I don't want it to be like that tiny. Let's see what 100 looks like. That seems like not too crazy. And then in terms of fill, I want it to just be yellow. So I'm going to go here and pick a yellow. If you have a specific brand color yellow, you could also pick it now. Okay. And then I like to add a stroke lately. I've been into a stroke. I do black, but I'm only going to do like the thinnest stroke ever. And now I'm going to remove the shadows. Okay, that stroke is too thin. Let's see. I think I like it like that. All right. So that seems like a great place to have my captions. So I'm going to go ahead and click this little plus sign and hit create style. And now this is going to be a new text style that I can use in this project. But you can also place it in one of those templates that I showed you just a second ago and have it be in all of your projects, or save it to local styles. And then it also shows up in your projects. There's a lot of ways to keep your presets with you and take them with you in every project. All right, so I'm going to call this Arial Bold CC. Save. Actually, I'm going to add the color. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead. It's here, Arial Yellow Bold CC. I'm going to set redefine style to all the captions on the track. And now when we play it through,
I know you hate
let me boost this up.
making videos to share your art online, but these 5 tools will make it just a little bit easier. First, the Osmo Pocket 3.
So there you go. They're all set up in there, which is really, really, really handy. Now, we can also start setting up some presets for the actual motion in the video. You know, right now, it's kind of all kind of boring. There's not really much movement in any of these clips, I don't think. So let's go ahead and add some movement. Now that we have our caption set in our style, I like to create some presets for movement. And also, sometimes it saves it in the bin that you are in and you need to move it. So usually I like to move that to graphics. Now everything's back to being nice and tidy. Okay, so to create some presets for motion, I want to go ahead and, oh, that's why I thought this was effect controls. I want to move this. All right. With a clip selected, I really want to do like that, like zoom. You know, the thing that zoom that people do like this in their videos. I want to create one of those and I want to be able to drag and drop it to my future videos. So in this, in the properties panel, I'm going to go ahead and go into effect controls, then hit motion. And usually that like swoosh is really fast. So it's like, I think around, I mean, you can do like 10 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to do 5. And then I'm going to hit position and scale. And I'm also going to hit, yeah, I'm just going to hit this. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Sometimes I can't read. Oops. Yeah, I'm going to just hit that. And then I'm going to go back and keyframe like how I want it to move. So for this, I want it to be like zooming into it. So I'm going to make the scale like higher. That way it goes like, you know? All right. So I'm going to do like here, 75. And then it goes like this. All right, great. The position stays the same. I want the position to stay the same. So I didn't really need to keyframe that, but sometimes I do. Keyframe anyway. Oh, I think I need to bring this out. There we go. So we have this. Let me play it through. If it's not being finicky.
I know you hate.
So it did that swoosh. I also want to add some like of that motion blur. So I'm going to go over to my effects. That's not effects. Effects. And go into, I think I just type in blur. And there is a directional blur that I'm going to drop right onto that clip. And now I have the directional blur settings. And in my directional blur settings, I want it to not be blurry once it's done zooming. So here I'm just going to hit, I'm going to drop a keyframe and drop another keyframe. But when it starts, I do want it to be blurry. So I'm just going to slowly add some blur here. You can press up key or you can just do it like this. And then you can also pick the direction. This doesn't really matter for the purpose of this exact effect, but I'm just going to do it like kind of sideways like that. And I don't know if I want that much blur. That's like a lot of blur. It was extreme. I just wanted to show you. Maybe like this. All right, so let's play that through.
Videos. I know you hate making.
So it was subtle, but it was there and it was so cute. So I want to add that. If I wanted to make it more dramatic, of course, I could just make the blur length even larger. And then when it goes like this, it's more dramatic. So let me show you.
I know you hate me.
There you go. We can also set some just like Bezier points. So I'm going to do temporal interpolation out. I'm going to do out with these as well. And I'm going to do in with the first ones just by click and dragging these in. And now we can play that through.
I know you hate making.
So it just barely changes like how we're looking at things. But if you look at the curves, it just looks a little bit better. Here we go. We could also just do ease in for all of them. You can see how it changes it there. And you can play with that and figure out the one that you like. So now that we have that set, let's make this a preset so we never have to manually do that ever again whenever we want that. And so the quickest way to do that is to just click. Well, let me explain to you. Here under the motion presets, under the motion effect controls, we keyframed the zoom in and out portion. And then under the directional blur effect that we added, we keyframed the blurring motion. Those are the two things that we want to keep and be able to copy and paste to other clips. So because of that, those are under the motion effects and the directional blur effects. You want to select the motion effect, hit Command on Mac, probably Control on Windows, click directional blur. Now you have them both selected, right click, save preset. And now it automatically named it directional blur preset, but let me say demo, directional blur, whoosh. All right. And then you can also add a description here. So it can be like zooms out with, or like intro, zoom out with blurring, with dramatic blurring. Because I could create another preset with like more subtle blurring. So it's nice to have that description. And then in terms of type, because this is something that you want to happen in the beginning of your clip, you want to anchor all of those keyframes to the end point of your clip. If you hit scale, it's going to take those keyframes and scale it across your clip, which will then create like the slowest whooshing ever. So we don't want scale. We want to anchor to endpoint. You could also anchor to outpoint if you created like a flipped version of this effect. All right, so I'm going to hit that. And then I'm going to click OK. So now over here under presets, we have demo, directional blur, whoosh. And if I go into any of my other clips, let's say this one, and I select it and drag it to that clip, now it should also blur. So let me show you.
First,
Did you see it? You may have missed it. It was very fast. For some reason, the toggle is not working for me today.
are easier. First, the
Boom. So now you have that preset. In the future, whenever you want to create this, you don't have to keyframe it. And if you want to remove it, you just hit that clip and you see it has the demo directional blur. You can just turn it off by going like that, or you could turn it back on. Up to you. So I really like being able to create those presets, and you can see how you can make like tons of them and have it all work out. All right, so that's that preset. Of course, we have adjustment layers, which is the next one that I want to cover. All right. So another one that I really like to do aside from the zooming preset is like a close-up crop, right? Like you want to just be able to drag and drop when it is an extreme close-up. So there are a few ways to do this. Let's just do it to the main one. Let's see. Let's grab a clip over here somewhere. No. My mouse shortcuts don't work in beta. All right, so let's say for this one, I wanted it to be like super cropped up. So I'm clicked on it, I'm in here. I want it to just be like very cropped in. For whatever reason, that's how I want it to look when you open it. All right, and again, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. I'm here to help. So now that I that if that's how I wanted it, right? Scale 95, let's say scale 100. All right. What I could do is right click motion, save preset. This is going to be like 100 scale zoom. And I want this to apply to the entire clip that I create. So I want to make sure that it's set to scale. I could also add here like crop in effect. Okay. So now I can go ahead and apply that to any of my future clips. So let's say I want it like this. Now this one is super close up. Oh, that motion effect also had a rotation. So I want to undo that. You got to make sure you don't end up doing that like I just did. But it's not a big deal. So you can do it like that. Or I'm going to actually go into this effect and redo it because I don't want an effect that's like that. Delete item. So if I wanted to create a very scaled up version, I would just do this one. Oh, okay, sorry. It was just that I had turned this video. So never mind, we do actually like that effect. And I could probably put it on this one and it'd be fine. Yeah. So I put it on the first clip and it worked out totally fine. But if you rotated your clip, it's going to override that rotation. So keep that in mind when you're editing. Again, not a huge deal. But I could also apply it to this one and now we're suddenly cropped in. Now here's the thing. I created in this video, like when I was flipping through these pages, I cut them because I flipped like really slowly. And I don't want it to be that slow. Hold on one second. I'm going to undo this. No. I know I hit 0. I want it to be 60. Okay. So I'm just undoing that. So you can see for all of these, they're like this, they're different clips. Oh, I just messed them all up by doing this. Hold on, let me make them all match. I'm just pasting my effects. Okay. So now they're all the same. So you see in the timeline, you can see I actually cut it because I was like flipping my pages extremely slowly. So I just cut it to the next ones. Okay. So if I want to create a zoom on all of these, the best way to do it would be to create an adjustment layer. And the best thing now that we have all these effects made is that if I go to my project, it's in my way, the zoom panel is in my way. Okay. If I go into my properties, I can now go into my project right here. I can go into my adjustment layer folder. I can create a new adjustment layer. I'm going to call it crop in. And I'm going to drag it over here and I'm going to place it across all of those clips that I want treated the exact same. Make sure it's extended all the way. And then when I go over to my presets under effects, sometimes I get lost, and I do this 100 scale zoom and I drop it on that wait, no, it's not going to work because I need to do the transform. I almost tricked you guys. I actually have to click transform. Under transform, you take this transform, drag it onto your adjustment layer. On your adjustment layer, you want to create that crop. So I want to do like extreme crop there. Maybe I want it to be like here. Beautiful, it looks amazing. And from that, I can actually save this preset and do like adjustment layer crop in preset to scale. Hit OK. Now it's in there. I already placed it on this one, but theoretically, if I made a brand new adjustment layer, like if I didn't have this, right? I hadn't made that yet. We go into our project, we create a new adjustment layer, we drop it into our timeline, sequence. Make sure it's on the right set of clips, and then go over to effects, presets, get that adjustment layer crop in and drop it in. It works. And now you can do it all the time right in there. Of course, once you have like an adjustment layer created, you can always just like copy paste and create more of them in your sequence. But I like having that there because then it's just like a guarantee that I can just set it. And sometimes like if you have a really long sequence, you don't want to go looking for that thing, you can just create more. So you can see how you can start creating a ton of different presets for both adjustment layers and for clips in your project. Now, another one I want to do is one with maybe a transition. So let's go into here. Our adjustment layer is not in there. Let's say it's not affecting that clip. So if we hit video transitions, and then we just have to like end up editing the transition. So if I have one here and it's not as big, wait, is it not between the clips? I think the clip is too short. Let me go to another clip. Boom, let's try it here. And I make it really short because I want a very short cross dissolve. It does make it a lot smoother.
Work are online, but these
You barely notice that I made a cut. Let's go in and look at this. And now I think if I go here and I go into, I have to add, let's add some more stuff to this. So let's say I want it to be scaled, like I always want it to be scaled at 60. And now I believe, wait, I'm not working in the right one. Here we go, scale it at 60. Scale and position, I decide to keyframe. And now when I hit right click, save preset, there's also include duration, include transition duration. Why isn't it in there? Hold on. Okay. All right. So if I wanted to save this transition in here, I can actually do right click, save preset with just the transition selected, and that'll be the new cross dissolve preset. I didn't do much to it other than in the transition duration, but still it's nice to be able to do like a 4-second cross dissolve preset. Hit OK. And now it's in here under presets. So I can go ahead and grab it and drop it on future clips in my sequence. So again, you can see how that would enable you to start creating a ton of quick ways to edit for the future. One more that I want to show you guys that I think is really fun is, hold on, let me adjust my sequence so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so in the original video, I did this, like, I know you hate making videos. Okay, so if you go, I don't hate making videos, and you guys, if you're watching, you probably don't hate making videos, but there are people who do. So once you're in here, if you want to actually edit further these captions, you could like do it one by one in the captions thing, but then you'd be doing it like over and over, and you can't, in the captions track, you can't have stacked captions. So for example, how this comes in one by one, like you hate making videos, and they're all showing up right now. That means that it would be stacked in the captions track, and the caption track does not allow for that. You can only do like one by one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select you hate making videos, hit graphics and titles, and hit upgrade caption. So now I've upgraded these. These are now like graphic clip files, not files, clips that have all sorts of properties that you can edit. If you want them to stack, since they already have the right timing, I don't like to mess with the timing, but you can extend it. So I'm going to go ahead and extend it. And now if we play that through, that's stacked, but it looks like the exact same. Let's check it out.
I know you hate making videos,
but we didn't like change how they're stacked. So now they're just like all over each other, which is not what you want. So you can just quickly like move them however you want. So let's say you hate making videos. And now if we play that through, it'll look like the way we want it to look.
I know you hate making videos to
So that's cooler. I like that. But it still feels like it's the same kind of text that we did a second ago. So what you can do is create another you can create another one of those text styles for it. Let's see. Ah, I'm not in the right spot. Let me move my stuff. Okay. If you click it, you open more of these appearance settings and you can create another linked style. So aside from having them for captions, you can also have them just for like special stuff that you want to make. So if I want to, let's say I want, when I create these upgrade to graphics captions, I want them to just be larger. So let's say I want them to be 150. And then I also, maybe I want them to be a different color. Oops. Sorry, I didn't want to do that. I just want to click here. Maybe I want them to be like bright pink or something. Up to you. And yeah, that's just what I wanted for them. Maybe I always align them center, but I don't want to mess with the align properties. You can create that by doing create style. And now you can do like pink, what's it called? Pull caption. Save to project, save to local styles. So now you have that. And now for all the future ones, you can easily just do that. Or the alternative is creating it as a preset. If you go into effect controls, you could also just create it as a preset. And then every single time that you do it, it'll keep those settings. Just like right click, save preset, scale. And then there's a chance it's going to change the wording. Nope. Oh, hold on. You want to drop that into the last one. And then it should do it. Wait, why didn't it do it? 1 second. Of course, in the last 2 minutes, that's when it wants to act up on me. Oh, it put it back there. There's a way to do it, and now it's not cooperating with me. Well, you can always just do it through the linked effects, but I also had one made here. See, I had this one right here, platform yellow. You drop it and it does it. So yeah, you can do that and then you can edit it. And then you would be able to edit it. So if you want to create the effects and then do it, that's what that works for, I guess. I didn't notice because I was making them for the exact same words before. But doing it through linked effects is the best way to do it. If I just undo, hit undo, hit undo. Because now all of them can look the exact same without having to do a ton of work and editing each single one. So in the future, if I want to do like the same thing for here for Osmo Pocket 3, I can just upgrade to captions. I like to keep it on those first ones. Then I can just move it. I like to hit shift to make sure that it stays straight. And then for each one, I can just switch it to that. And it just switches the style of the text so that it matches and I don't have to keep doing it. And then, you can adjust it. And then let's play it through.
totally a little bit easier. First, the Osmo Pocket 3.
So you can do that, or you could just continue to chop it up, right? Like, because the captions put Pocket 3 together, you could also just duplicate that and make it separate. So for one to say Pocket, and for the other one to say 3 without the period. All right, so there's so many ways to basically make it a lot faster to edit. And I want to also remind you that if you are editing a video right now, go ahead and turn some of those effects into presets so that you don't have to keep keyframing them all the time. Sometimes it's a little tricky with the anchor points, but I believe in you. Align the properties with the keyframe points, you'll be fine. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next Adobe Live. Don't go anywhere. Remember to like and subscribe and comment. See you next time, everyone. Bye.